Hey, what's up guys, it's Indy here. Yeah, so this video is going to focus on something that's very prevalent lately and very concerning because it's something that has happened, over the last 10, 15 years, but it's just something in the last year or two that's completely blown out of proportion. What I'm talking about is educated people making very racist and hateful statements. Now, this is on both sides of the fence. This is white, black, colored, Indian, Asian. It's all different colors and creeds and races and whatever. So don't think I'm talking just about black people. I'm just talking about white people. What's basically happening is you get a lot of students at university using their Facebook and Twitter to make outlandish statements about the other race. One of these, as an example, is a guy recently that posted on his Facebook that everybody should celebrate a bus being forced into a river and a lot of kids drowning. These were white kids, and the person saying it was black. And he said that they should have a Braai Day to celebrate, those many children that lost their lives in 1985 or whenever. Now that's just one example. That's sickening. And this person is educated. This person is studying at a tertiary institution. The same thing happened at the Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University twice that I've been actively involved in, where the one person said that, white people should be killed, or the only good white person is a dead white person. And then the second person at the Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University said something down the lines of, there was a Sasco thing that happened where they said that white people are cockroaches and should die. Now, that is just some of the examples that has been happening lately. You get a lot of people on Twitter that, the media don't follow, that say outlandish things like these. Another one was a person on Facebook that's at a university in South Africa that said that the only good boer is a dead boer, Now I'm thinking to myself, for the last 10, 15 years of my life, I thought that the biggest problem facing South Africa was education. The reason that a lot of people in South Africa don't vote for the political party that might be best for the country is because they vote along racial lines and not so much based on what is good for the country or what is good for them as an individual. And then what you'll find is a lot of uneducated people just follow a party because they follow it with their heart and not with their head. And what I've thought for a long time was the reason for that is because people aren't educated. And the governing party of South Africa, the ANC, they are keeping them uneducated to make sure that they can keep the vote. However, like over the last 2 to 3 years, my perception of this has changed, that an educated society is a good society. What I've actually uncovered, in my personal opinion, is that the education is not the problem, because if you look at Julius Malema, when he was still the youth leader, he went to universities around South Africa and he got it right for thousands of educated young people to sing "Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer." Now, an educated person wouldn't sing that song. So you have to ask the question, what's wrong? What's going on here? Why are educated people not looking past the race barrier? Why are they looking at just race and the hatred towards the other race? And what I've come up with is, it's not the fact that they're not educated. It's not the fact that they can reason. The problem is that they are, they are in a household where the parents are hateful and they hate the other race. Whether it be a white family or whether it be a black or Indian family, the fact remains that, as an example, the family members of, say, Nxosa Mthemba, right? They suffered under apartheid, and because of the suffering under apartheid, they were negatively affected by it. Now their young son is going through school, going to university, but the parents still have this negative mentality. And this could apply to a Van der Merwe family as well, as an example. They think that the government currently are all black people and they are messing up the country, and every black person in South Africa is corrupt, according to the Van der Merwes. So it goes both ways. But the fact remains that family members and the parents are very ignorant, and they don't want their child to grow up in a neutral society where race isn't anything other than just race. So it's not so much the education. I mean, if you are young and you are brought up, you think that person is a lesser human being because of the color of his skin, then eventually it's going to stick. Just like religion. If you are born into a Christian household, or if you're born into a Jewish household, 90% of the time you'll turn out to be Jewish or Christian, because it's something that was forced on you to believe in. So that is what I've come up with. I think that all these racist people, because that's what they are, making these statements about kill white people, kill black people, the only good white or black person is a dead person, things like this isn't because of our education. So, you know, we can go on and say that people aren't educated, but it stretches further than that. You know, people think that our generation, the young generation and the next generation, will be born frees, which they are labeled as, and that they will not see race and color. But the problem is there that these people are still growing up in a household where their parents are racists and their parents are extremists, and they put these values and their visions into these children. So it's not going to take as short as what we hoped. And, you know, this is a reoccurring cycle that will never end. Because if these young black people or young white people grow up and they instill what their parents told them into the next generation, then it's a reoccurring cycle that will never end. So I think that education is very important, and that every person in South Africa should be educated, but the problem stems deeper than that. The problem is that we still have a lot of ignorant and racist older generation people that are instilling these new values, or rather the old values, into the new young people. That is a problem we face. But basically, to all the educated people out there who are making these racist statements, you do not belong in South Africa, and the new South Africa is definitely not for you. So the next time when you want to really tell the world what's deep inside yourself, rather keep it to yourself, because chances are that more people out there want a free and democratic and equal South Africa than you bunch of extremists out there that think that white people should die and black people or Indian people should die just because of the color of their skin. That's all I've got to say. Till later. Cheers and peace out.